Hello everyone, and welcome to this edition of FC Live. I'm Alexis Nunes alongside Don Hutchison and Stevie Nicol as our Scots, but nobody is happier at this desk than our 98 World Cup winner with France, Frank Leboeuf, because France are looking like they could become World Cup winners yet again. They have booked their spot in the round of 16 at the World Cup after a 3-0 win over Sweden, led by a brace from Kylian Mbappe, who is now the player with the most goals in the knockout rounds of any World Cup. Plus, he's definitely hot on Lionel Messi's tail, not just for the Golden Boot for this one, but also to become the most prolific goal scorer in a World Cup of all time. Right, let's get straight into it. Frank, after we saw that, what we saw from Mbappe, what we saw from Olise, what we saw from everyone, it was just hard to ask for more from France.
Yes, it slowly started, I would say, in a way that it took them maybe 20 minutes to get into the game, but after when they started to work together and started to find each other in the best way, they were only one team on the field, and those three at front, you know, with on top of it Rabiot working hard. It's simply a nightmare for the opponents. I mean, Dembele, Olise, and Mbappe, when they work together, it's impossible to catch with them. So I'm very pleased. I think that I don't see any team being capable of winning so easily a World Cup game right now. But it's still a long way to go, and you will have to be 100% if you want to achieve something. But so far, so very good.
Ooh la la.
Ooh la la, indeed.
Nice.
Don, you loved that one.
And
it's not quite Scotland, but it'll do.
No, we'll latch on to Frank for this tournament, I think. But the XG3 was very kind to Sweden.
Yeah.
Because it could have been 6 or 7, and it should have been. I'll give Sweden a little bit of credit for the fight they put up in the first 40, 45 minutes of the game, and then France just took over. And the more the game went on, you think this is going to be 4, it's going to be 5, 6, whatever they want it to be. But they absolutely dominated the Swedes.
Absolute domination from France. A statement win too, Stevie, as if France really needed to make a statement.
If anybody was unsure about France's qualifications, you saw it today. And yes, Sweden gave it their all from the first to the last. And it's a good job, because it would have been more than 3. They packed it in. Because at one stage, it was like schoolboys. I mean, it was men against boys. France was so good. And I'm not even sure Magic Mike had a save to make. You know, and that's not saying that Sweden didn't. On a couple of occasions,
Alanga was dangerous, wasn't he?
Yeah, on a couple of occasions they got close, but they never quite managed to get in and on the end of it.
Which is the craziness for me is before the first goal, they started to produce, you know, actions, and they say hit the post, you know, offside, whatever it could be.
I know what you're thinking.
Yeah.
The Olise bicycle kick.
Yeah, Olise bicycle. But it's like it was like the Harlem Globetrotters, you know, where when there is a show with kind of a suspense, but they know exactly what they're gonna do, and then they destroy the opponent.
It was a matter of time, wasn't it?
Yeah.
What you're talking about, we were all sitting thinking the same thing. It's a matter of time before they get the opening goal.
Yeah.
Because they were just so much in command. They were creating, and the fact that the woodwork got in the way a couple of times, and the goalkeeper made an incredible save with his feet.
Yeah.
But it really was a waiting game. You knew it was coming, and of course, eventually it did come. And surprise, surprise, it's Mbappe, dancing feet. I know it's Gyökeres he goes past, but a couple of superb touches that open everything up for him. And then he shoves it in the top corner. So, no shock.
And I want to talk about 2 specific players, and this probably won't surprise you. Of course, Kylian Mbappe and Michael Olise. They were brought off, but job was done by then. And then it was absolutely a flex from France to bring on the likes of Cherki and Mateta. Just unbelievable. We'll get to that in a bit. But Frank, 6 goals now for Kylian Mbappe in this World Cup. 5 assists already from Michael Olise in this World Cup. Can anyone stop them at the rate they're going?
Right now? No, it's impossible. They are on their best of their fitness, on their cleverness, the technique that Olise is capable of showing. I mean, the pass on the assist for Barcola.
Yeah.
It thoughts like deeply in between the legs. It's not a nutmeg, but it's a real assist when he thinks about putting the ball in between the legs of the Swedish players to assist Barcola. It's absolutely fantastic. And of course, Mbappe, from the first ball that he touched, you say, ooh, he's in a very good mood. He's in a very good time, and he's gonna produce. And it's what happened. And those players are just geniuses, and they're unstoppable when they are their best, and when they are supported by a great coach but great partners as well. They are at the top of their football, and they know exactly what they do. On the first goal, it's Olise who gives to Dembele, who gives to Mbappe, and that's what it is. They know each other, they find each other, they look for each other. That's amazing. And that guy, Kylian Mbappe, there's no way that Messi can keep that record.
Yeah.
That's what it is, because he's only 27. He's going to score many goals until maybe the final of this World Cup. He's going to play another World Cup. He's going to score like 22, 23, 24 goals in a World Cup. So he's going to explode any records for a human being in football, which is only deserved, I would say.
Which is amazing to think that Mbappe now is on par with Lionel Messi when he's over a decade younger than him and has played in a lot less World Cups than him. But just looking at this World Cup now, when you see Mbappe like this, and as Frank was saying, you're looking at him, especially with the assistance of an Olise playing at their best. How many goals are we looking at? Are we saying 20? 25 maybe?
Yeah. Do you know the one thing I took away from the way he's started this World Cup, Kylian Mbappe, and I might be in the minority, he's playing with far more enjoyment for France than he does Real Madrid.
Yeah.
I get that feeling, whether that's the coach, whether that's putting on that French jersey.
Is that who's also around him?
Yeah. I just think he takes more responsibility when he plays for France. It's almost like, you know, he knows he's a star man, and he probably knows he's a star man at Real Madrid, but there's something different about watching him. And that might be playing with Barcola or Doué or Olise and playing for Deschamps, who lets him play, and they put them in a structure. But you look at his goals and you think, this guy's going to be around for another decade. So the goals that he's going to score overall, he's a phenomenal player. Sometimes, and again, I might be in the minority, but sometimes when you're watching for Real Madrid, his attitude's not the same. It can be a little bit arms in the air, a little bit frustrated. When he plays for France, I see a guy that's enjoying his football, and it comes across that way. And he plays better when he's in that mood. There
is one thing that I thought during the game. I say Mourinho is watching the game, and he say, Mr. Perez, can I get Olise, please? Because that would be very interesting.
I think Younes might have a thing or two to say about that.
You'd have to rob a bank.
They would have to rob a bank at this point.
Yeah. Do you know the one thing I think we're forgetting? As great as Mbappe is, and as magic as his total is going to be, and as great as he is now, if you take Mbappe out of the French team,
it doesn't matter.
I think France will still win the World Cup. I don't think we're talking about Mbappe and Messi here.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I think if you take Messi out of Argentina, they ain't winning the World Cup. If you take Mbappe out of this team, they'll still win the World Cup.
You just put Dembele as the false nine, you bring Doué in. The depth is
and you have Cherki, you have Mateta. I mean, that's incredible.
Right.
The forward line is amazing, and we don't have any other national team who can cope with that. That's impossible.
Well, we'll talk about who they have next in just a bit, but let's spare a thought for Sweden as well, because it was already going to be a miracle if they were to topple this France as well. But I feel like, Don, no shame in Graham Potter's Sweden out here.
Do you know what? If you're going to go out of a World Cup, and we're not shoehorning Scotland back into this conversation, but you've got to do it your way. And that's what Graham Potter did.
Yeah.
They had a go. They were trying to be in a shape. They were playing counter-attacking football. The slight weakness, I thought, was when Alanga was getting at Luka Dean, and he had him in the first 45 minutes. He had him on toast. So maybe that's it. That could be applied for someone else. But if you're going to go out and you're Sweden, you go, do you know what? Let's give it a real good go. There's every chance we're not going to win, but we'll try our best, and I'm not being condescending. They've done it their way. They had a go, and then there's no shame. You go on the plane, you go back home, and you go, we've been beaten by one of the best teams in the tournament, if not the best. So let's do it our way.
Straight after Mbappe scored the first goal, Isaac has a great chance to score. So had he had scored, it would have been a different story maybe, because they would have put doubts on the French brains, and you don't know what in football. A little detail can change everything. So I think they had 20 very good minutes in the beginning of the game, and they had that chance. So yeah, they can be, I would say, sad but proud of what they achieved during that World Cup.
Stevie, is that how you see it? What can Graham Potter take away from this?
Well, I think he can take away that since Graham Potter's gone there, he's completely revamped them.
Yeah.
I mean, the team was an absolute shambles. Bottom of their group in the qualifying. Since he's taken over, he's turned them into a football team. He's turned them into a team that plays for each other and gives everything every time they step on the field, which is not what was happened before Graham Potter took over.
All right, shall we talk about who France have next? And that is Paraguay. And I know what you're thinking. On paper, this looks like France, France, France. But Paraguay have proven that they are very capable of toppling what we would consider European superpowers. But Frank, is this the kind of...
Whoa.
By the way,
Germany are former champions.
When was the last time?
You said France, France, France.
2014.
When was the last
Still France, France, France.
It still is France, France, France. But yes, from the Paraguay that we saw, even against Germany, Frank, we know that France will go at them. And one thing Paraguay know how to do is to sit back and to suffer. Sufriendo. They won't make it pretty. They'll make it annoying. Do you see France... I don't think they would lose, of course not. But do you see France getting even a little bit rattled?
They can struggle. They have to score a goal very quickly. And that's going to be the end of the story, because Paraguay will have to go out, and that would be a disaster, I think. 98, we had to fight in the last 16s against Paraguay, and this is because of the golden goal of Laurent Blanc after maybe almost 2 hours that we went through. But it was a hard time, and Chilavert was really optimistic about the situation, maybe thinking about scoring the winning penalty in the penalty shootout. So that's something that I feel could happen, because they're going to park the bus. They're going to wait for France to maybe open up, or maybe not even, just waiting for the penalty shootout. And we're going to see maybe a 90% position for France.
Oh, yeah.
But as long as you don't score, Paraguay will still have hope. So we have to respect that team. They know how to defend. They know how to bend but not break, let's say. And that's going to be tricky. As long as France doesn't score the first goal, it's going to be a nightmare for France.
Stevie?
I don't think I share the sentiment of nightmare for France.
No, me neither.
A bit uncomfortable for France.
Yeah, I think that's a little uncomfortable.
Uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Maybe I was a bit too much.
Yeah, look.
Whatever.
Uncomfortable be the night before.
Yeah.
Not uncomfortable during the game.
Because the bed is not very
But
good.
they can make it uncomfortable.
Well, they can, but I mean...
They won't.
To kind of go back to when you were talking about Sweden, I mean, Frank was talking about a sort of half chance that Isak had, and there was a couple other wee chances. But the reason they didn't worry Mignon in goal is because defensively, somebody was close enough to put them off. Somebody was there to either block it or make them go to the right when they wanted to go to the left. So we're talking about a side that not only are they dynamite going forward, my goodness,
The USA beat them by 4, didn't they? Paraguay?
Yeah, but that was a different story.
But that was a very different story.
Argentina lost against Saudi Arabia and became champion of the world.
France will sleep very well knowing they're playing against Paraguay.
Yeah. Well, I don't want, I know the French because I am French, and when we feel too comfortable, we go into danger. So
There's too many goals in your team, Frank. And on top of what Stevie said, defensively.
If you let 2 in, you'll get 3, basically. That's
I mean, Paraguay could exhaust France. Yeah, but then you see who France bring off of the bench as fresh legs that would start in any other team.
No, but still, I know the football, and I know my country so well, and I know that when we are too comfortable is when we are surprised. So I want to respect Paraguay, and if we put out a nice work and a hard work on it, yes, it's going to be comfortable.
You've been born in Paraguay? You're selling the Paraguay dream, eh?
I'm not, but I'm just bigging up my fellow Latinos, I have to. But Frank knows I love me some France. I could sit down and watch Olise with a bag of popcorn all day, every day.
And by the way, he might not even start. They might start Cherky. And they might start Doué.
No,
would you like that?
No, he's going to start.
He's got to have.